Hello, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas Eve and Christmas. I sure did, and we're ready to get back to work today. All right, Joe Biden, and I did a Facebook Live about this, commuted the death sentence of 37 federal death row inmates. There's apparently only like 40. He did this. In other words, a jury, prosecutors, and a judge all concluded that these, and an appellate court system, all decided these people deserved the death penalty. And this guy, who we now know is senile, he's senile, has been for 4 years, is having somebody draft these and shove them under his nose, and he's signing them off on. And you know what, as I pointed out, where are the Democrats in Kentucky who complained about what Matt Bevin did? What do you say, Andy Bashir? Ford and General Motors are the latest to give $1 million each to good old Donald Trump for his inauguration. CIA, apparently there's a report out there that says CIA says there were people that lived on Mars and they built pyramids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Who knows? Matt Gaetz, the ethics report. I want to tell you something. I met Matt Gaetz. I know he's a member of the Trump MAGA team, but this report makes him look bad, real bad. Real bad. Just does. Bill Clinton was hospitalized. Apparently had some issues going. Remember, this guy had open heart surgery. He's been taking care of himself, but his dad died young. His mom died young. He's probably on his last leg. And then Hillary will come out as an admitted lesbian after all these years. Luigi was in court, and his lawyer excoriated the prosecution and the mayor of New York for how they perp walked this. They perped this guy from like a boat, an airplane, a helicopter. I mean, it was hysterical and terrible what they did to Luigi. You know, he's got his constitutional rights, even if he's guilty. But what they did to him was awful. John Arrigo, West Palm Beacher, is going to be the ambassador to Portugal. Summers Farkas is going to be the ambassador to Malta. Newsom says he's going to do everything he can in California to keep Trump from automatically yanking everybody back to Mexico. We'll see what happens. And the UK, hey, Britt, did you know this? The United Kingdom apparently has developed a drone zapper. They can do it from great distances. We need to borrow one. By the way, if you didn't know this, the Brits are the ones that came up with radar. Did you know that? They did. They invented radar. Saved them in World War II. Brian Koberger is now the chief suspect in a previous burglary and attempted murder. This was his second rodeo. Brian Thompson, the former CEO of United Healthcare that got whacked by Luigi, he had a very good deal on a former DUI arrest that he had. Look at this up-and-coming United Healthcare executive and his, he's so pearly white. What's worse than this? Insider trading, using AI, under investigation for fraud. This guy was a scumbag. I didn't shoot him. I didn't kill him. Luigi executed him. But he was a scumbag nevertheless. Rocket Holmes is under investigation by the feds for kickbacks. The Federal Express worker pictured here said he had had enough of delivering packages and left a whole bunch of packages in the woods. Are you kidding me? And Denmark is upping their defense of Greenland. Denmark might be a little country, but they're on to something big in good old Greenland. Why? All those special metals and minerals and everything else that Greenland has. Trump wants it. Trump says, why can't Gretzky be the Prime Minister of Canada? You never know. And Kevin Marino, a Miami-Dade County Commissioner, has been appointed the ambassador to Panama. That'll be an interesting job in the next Trump administration. All right, check me out, Eric Deters Show. Become a member. Become a subscriber to YouTube, Rumble. Happy to have you. And coming up next is Eric Deters Local News. All right, in local news, we got some interesting stories. This guy right here, Sean Farr, stole 300 gift cards in the Florence and Newport areas. Let me see if those gift cards valued at $100. That's a lot of money. That's $30,000. Special prosecutor, the Claremont County prosecutor, was the special prosecutor for this and says Melissa Powers committed no crimes on those backdating orders. She said she corrected the order. This was a shot, dirty pool. Shame on you, Mr. Thomas. And then there was a breach in school data from Boone and Kenton County. I'm sure it's a sex trafficker. Disgusting. And a utility company down near Louisville is going to be able to put pipes and run pipes through the Bernheim Forest. You know, I've never stopped at the Bernheim Forest, and I need to do that. I understand it's beautiful. And the Ohio Supreme Court, this is a real shocker, has thrown out a $600 million settlement with Big Pharma and opiates. The Ohio Supreme Court, bought and paid for by the medical establishment. Coming up next, Jamie Spindley in his World News, where he does a terrific job giving us a report on all the bad things that are going around the world.
Hello again, the latest world headlines. A passenger plane with 69 people on board crashed in Azerbaijan, killing 38 whilst the rest survived. The Azerbaijan airline flight was diverted due to fog and caught fire during an emergency landing attempt. The plane was en route to Russia. Approximately 29,000 Serbians protest in Belgrade, demanding government accountability. The demonstration follows 7 weeks of unrest sparked by the collapse of a train station roof in Novi Sad, which killed 15 people. In other news, residents in Victoria, Australia were briefly allowed to retrieve belongings before Christmas as bushfires threatened the region. Authorities warned of catastrophic conditions reminiscent of the devastating Black Summer fires in 2019-2020. And a bridge collapse in northern Brazil sent trucks carrying pesticides and sulfuric acid into a river, raising concerns about water contamination. 4 people are confirmed dead and over 10 remain missing. You're up to date with the world's latest headlines. Coming up next, Sports Without Boundaries. Take care.
All right, Sports Without Boundaries. The University of Kentucky dropped to 10th after their loss to Ohio State. They don't play until Tuesday, New Year's Eve, and they play Brown University, who got waxed by 30 by Kansas. Bill Bergey, a former Bengal and Eagle. I hated when he left the Bengals. He was a great linebacker. Rest in peace, died of cancer at 79. And Beyonce did the Kansas City-Pittsburgh Netflix halftime show, not report. And at the end, she went like this with the pistol shooting, which is banned by the NFL. Mega Millions is up to $1.15 billion. Spindley, we got to buy some tickets. And the Chiefs beat the Steelers and have clinched the bye. Nobody's talked about this in sports. Why did Tom Brady and why did Bill Belichick win all those Super Bowls at New England? You know why? Because their division for a decade or two, for two decades, sucked. The Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills sucked for 2 decades. They did. So what did that mean? They play those teams twice every year, they win their division every year, and they usually get home field advantage. Kansas City has been doing the same thing. Who's in their division? Denver, who has sucked, San Diego, who has sucked, and the Raiders, who have sucked. So what happens? They play each of those teams twice a year, they win their division, and they get home field advantage. They got a bye. And guess what? Their first game in the playoffs will be against the worst team left. Then they get to host whoever's left. My guess is it'll be the Ravens. All right, what else do we have here? Ravens 31, Texans 2. That's weird. And the Seahawks and the Bears play tonight. Meanwhile, the NBA yesterday, all those basketball games, the LA Lakers did win, but their basketball players are complaining about playing every Christmas. I'd agree with them. I'd bitch too. All right, coming up next, pop culture. All right, here we go with pop culture. Bert the crocodile from Crocodile Dundee's apparently died. They think he's 90 years old. Good old Bert. Jenna Bush Hager. This is George Bush 43's daughter, one of his 2 daughters, twin daughters. On the show, admitted she doesn't wear panties. What the hell? Unbelievable. And Landman is going to be season 2. Demi Moore said there's going to be a season 2. I hope so because I really enjoyed this show, and I'm glad it's coming back. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. We will be back tomorrow on Friday.